Okay, let me just no, hold on. That's not it. Okay, right here. Cool. So you guys can see the screen?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, so just go ahead and get started then. All right, good morning, gentlemen. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Today we're going to go ahead and meet as a community of practice in PLC, and we're going to go ahead and kind of cover some of the topics that we've been talking about lately, and really trying to help our EL students and see how we can approach and kind of come up with solutions to help them out. So we'll just go ahead and get started. But first, we'll go ahead and start with introductions before we get to the agenda. My name is Andrew Gonzalez. I'm the World and U.S. History teacher and PLC leader. So we got to kind of go around.
Daniel Garcia, veteran teacher, assistant principal.
Daniel Sanchez, EL specialist.
Gabriel Torres, history teacher.
All right, y'all. Thank you all for joining us today. So here's just a little agenda of what we're going to be doing. So we're going to just review some of the norms that we've all agreed on and are committed to. We're going to do some of the data review and then get some discussion in using some guiding questions. Then we're going to kind of collaborate and see what we can come up with when it comes to solutions for EL students. Develop an action plan, monitor, and kind of collect some of that evidence, and then see what we thought about that process and reflect and get some feedback from each other and how it worked out. So we'll go ahead and follow that. So just a reminder of the meeting norms. I'll give you guys a second to take a look at that, the ones that we are agreed on and are committed to. Focusing on equity and access, listening actively and value every participant's perspective, ground all decisions in student data and evidence, use respectful and inclusive language at all times, stay on topic and follow the meeting agenda, encourage collaboration and shared responsibility, seek consensus through open and respectful dialogue, reflect at the end of the meeting on what went well and what to improve on next time. So are we still comfortable with these norms, or are there any ones that we need to adjust or want to change, or you guys are we still kind of committed to these ones?
No, that sounds good.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's go ahead and move forward. So the purpose of this meeting and connecting to our problem on practice is to review some early implementation data for the evidence-based strategy that we're going to kind of come up with. So our problem in practice, as we know that from working together, we want to, and sharing a common assessment, we want to help out our English learners as they looking through the data that we found out they had significant lower performance on formative assessments due to limited access to academic language supports. So is that kind of the experience that you guys are seeing, or what the data is showing you guys in your guys' classroom?
Yes.
Yeah. So in my classroom, sorry, excuse me, but in my classroom, I've noticed that a lot of the students, it's not a function of them not knowing the material; it's just not understanding what the questions are asking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same in my classroom as well.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes reading and understanding the text is a little hard. So since most of the books are in English, we have to find something else or some sort of translation. But it's nothing that the students can understand once we have that.
Sure, exactly. So kind of going forward, our intended outcome is to identify initial trends in student learning and determine what we're going to do, our attack plan. So here's some of the action steps, the Atlas protocol, which we're going to do, kind of practice. which is observing, like what do we see? Trying to identify some patterns and trends, what stands out, interpret those patterns and trends, why might this be happening, and just some of the implications because of this. So what action should we take on next? So that is the process that we're going to follow during this kind of data-driven dialogue. So just kind of looking through an equity lens, just some of the guiding questions to think about as we go through this process of, going through our data in our classroom from the assessments and just, identifying student groups and which ones are struggling. So who is benefiting most from the strategy, from the assessment? Which student groups are still underperforming, and what barriers might explain these differences? So just kind of keep those questions in mind as we're doing a little data dive. So our findings on EL assessment data. So if you kind of look through some of the slides, you'll be able to see some of the data-driven assessments and stuff. So some of the ways that we've collected data are exit tickets, common assessments, and student interviews. So just some of the findings that we were able to put together. Go. Okay. Right. So, sir, here's some of the data right here. Right, we see about English, or 37% of our English learners are struggling in our classrooms. And I just want to kind of put this table up there just to make sure that this is all kind of stuff that we've noticed and experienced in our classrooms. So 60% of ELs using academic vocabulary accurately, 35 of our ELs are being proficient. And just from student interviews, EL students reported higher confidence in group tasks as opposed to working in isolation. I just want to kind of get your guys' experience working with EL students from the assessment in your guys' classrooms. Can you guys share about that?
Yeah. So in my classroom, what I've started to do is when I'm doing my notes, I color code the notes, right? So I color code the steps. They have a visual so they can see while I'm doing the notes what steps I'm taking. That way they can understand the difference between this, like the beginning question, what it's asking, and each additional step. I'm also when I give them the notes, I do give them the vocabulary ahead of time in English and in Spanish, so that way as I'm teaching, there's sometimes I'll take breaks and I'll teach the lesson in Spanish, but then using the English academic language for each lesson. And then as we're going along, what I did in the past, just give them the test like everybody else. But now what I've done now is I've actually given them the test in Spanish. So I've actually have a Spanish version of the test for them, using the same academic language, and it's again, it's in English and in Spanish, just to help them understand what the question is asking.
Oh, okay. So you said you kind of you changed the test to Spanish, which is helping a lot. And were you talking about vocabulary as well? You're pre-teaching vocabulary? Was that what you brought up?
Right. Yeah. So as I give them the notes, like everyone in the class has the vocabulary for the lesson, right? For the whatever unit that we're talking about. And so I've given them the academic language ahead of time, like before like it's the first thing before we start the lesson. And then I give it to them in English and in Spanish. So that way they understand. When I repeat it, I repeat the vocabulary. I repeat in both English and Spanish, just so they understand. Oh, okay, this is what this means. This is what this is, right? And they understand it in both. So yeah, I front load the vocabulary as we go along. As I'm teaching, I'm throwing in those words.
And that has helped the EL student performance on assessments?
Yeah, significantly, because now again they're getting familiar with the language, they're getting familiar with the words, and it's significantly improving their performance.
Okay, Mr. Sanchez, have you had any experience working with EL students in your classroom?
Yeah, so in my classroom, the main thing that I've really been doing is providing extra time for the students to get their work done, not only in class, but also for exams as well, is being able to extend their time because, again, if they're not understanding it, like I really want them to make sure to be in it and, ask questions they need to. Another thing also that really helps is giving them a lot of formative feedback that I really noticed too. I'll give them feedback not only on their work, but when they do their exams, I really go through it with them and just have them have a great understanding of what's going on so they're not lost in it.
All that stuff. All that has been kind of leading to increased assessments or test scores.
Yeah, it has, because they've been having a better understanding of it.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well, those are both great, strategies to be used, and stuff that we can think about as well. I know for me, some of the similar stuff that you guys been talking about with pre-teaching vocabulary, using a lot of visual supports like charts, diagrams, and then also building into some culture proficient um, uh, material related to the topic, so they're just able to understand a little bit better and relate to it as well. So those are some things that all great ideas that we can kind of start implementing throughout this process and into our classroom. So we'll just make sure that we have that down right here as we kind of go forward. So just kind of revisiting our focus as we're moving forward, right? So our problem of practice that we're trying to identify is that English learners demonstrate lower performance on common assessments compared to other peers. And we're trying to figure out how to fix that and approach that. So we got some great ideas and some strategies that we all kind of use. And so as a PLC, our goal is to, simplify those and have a common one. So we are able to, or a common couple of them. So we're able to, really compare and get some feedback and see what worked with each other. So some of the root causes that I'm hearing with EL students, just based off interviews and speaking with students, and you guys are able to speak to this as well. Limited opportunities for academic language practice leading up to assessments, gaps in formative assessment feedback, and then limited instructional structured support and differentiation. So a lot of just like the differentiation and scaffolding needs to be very personalized and customized for EL students, and just really being able to find which ones work best for our students. So if you guys been hearing anything in your guys' classrooms from EL students about like their struggles and why some of them are scoring lower in tests?
A lot of the times in our class, a lot of the EL students say that their peers like speak too quickly, so they don't really catch on to what exactly is going on in the class or what they're saying.
Yeah, same thing. I tend to put us like a stronger student within a group of the excuse me, the ML students, and same thing. It's just a lot of the times what they'll do is that they're speaking too fast, and we're trying to also have them use the academic language as when they're speaking to their peers. And then one thing that I have done is when we're doing the formative assessments is giving them sentence stems, so that way they already know what it's asking, right? And it's just providing for them to fill in the gap, right? So um, it's helping them a lot because again with the difficulties of the academic language and the practice, right? And especially when we're trying to do the lessons, differentiating that, like just giving them a sentence stem helps them out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great one too. So I know you guys were kind of talking about some of those solutions that we could come up with that have been working. So on this slide right here, I don't know if you guys have the Google slide up. Would you guys, any of you guys have that up? I know Torres, you're kind of working from the outside right now. But if you have the Google slide up, we can go ahead and jot some of those stuff in. So you said, or I said use visual supports such as charts, diagrams, see sentence frames and stems, pre-teach vocabulary. Let me just put these in there. Structured, it looked like peer discussion. that kind of goes to what you said, Mr. Sanchez, about students, students, English speaking students talking a little bit too quickly for EL students to understand. So having structured peer discussions would help counter that. And then that is it. These are the main ones that we kind of come up with. So we'll go ahead and move forward. So just some of the takeaways. All right, identifying trends in early data, equity gaps noted, and team agreements on next action. All right, so give me this, pull this out. Let me just stop recording for this real quick. All right, guys, so welcome again. Thank you for meeting today as we go ahead and move forward and keep discussing about our experience with working with EL students and how to improve their test scores. So we'll go ahead and get going with this. So just some of the group agreements that we've been working on, focusing on equity and access, collaborate respectfully, share the space, be data-driven, which I feel like we've all been a great advocate for, stay solution-oriented, and document and follow through. So are we still all committed to those, or anyone that we've got to add?
Sounds good to me.
No, those sound pretty good.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move forward. All right, so just kind of back to our problem of practice. English learners show lower performance on formative assessments due to limited access and academic language support. So our strategies in action is pre-teaching vocabulary, right? That has been stuff that we've been kind of working on and trying to improve, collaborate vocabulary routines, implementing structured peer discussion and sentence frames, visual supports for concept reinforcement, such as graphic organizers and visuals. So our goal is to review implementation results and agree on refinements that strengthen EL engagement and comprehension. So just some guiding questions that we kind of think back and trying to understand or trying to just analyze how those solutions have been helping in our classrooms, right? Just so, guiding questions to help us. How did EL students respond to the accommodations, all right, that we've had right here? Reviewing vocab, peer discussion and sentence frames, and concept reinforcement with visuals. What patterns do we notice in language use, engagement, or confidence? And then just some of the visible evidence. Teachers identify patterns showing improved EL participation and collective interpretation of what the data reveals. So just kind of thinking back on like how the implementation of our strategies, how do you think you guys, or how do you think those strategies have been useful or not useful for you guys in your guys' classroom? I'll go back to them so we have a better understanding of these three right here.
Can I say something? I think one thing that I've noticed definitely from the beginning and towards like the end is that students feel a lot more confident into like raising their hand, into speaking with peers, and to like just trying to answer compared to like at the start when these are students that would never raise their hand, never would answer when you call on them, and now they actually try to speak or try to shout out an answer, and feel just like they feel a little more engaged with the class. So definitely I feel like there's a confidence boost with these students and them wanting to engage more in the class. That's
That's
what I've
great, man.
noticed.
I love that. They just feel a little bit more comfortable and, safe in the classroom. That's kind of been my experience too. They just have more of a confidence in talking to their peers. I know for me, for that structured peer discussion, having like roles for each person in a small group, like with a facilitator, no keeper, person asking the questions and someone answering the questions. Having those roles identified have been helpful for EL learners.
Yeah, I totally agree. In my class as well, same thing Mr. Torres said is that they've felt more included.
Mr. Sanchez, has that been your experience, or what has been your experience?
Yeah, I agree as well too. They have a lot more confidence in the class. Giving them a role just gives them like kind of like a meeting in our not only our group setting, but also like the classroom. Like they're not just in there feeling like they're a normal student, like they're given something a task to do. And I think they take that very well. Another thing too that I think that I've noticed that helps them a lot is with the graphic organizers and visuals. Just gives them an idea of exactly what's going on, not just throwing a bunch of information at you and writing it down on a random piece of paper. They have a little more structured, and it's easy for them to go back to it and review it.
That's a great point. Yeah, I agree that the graphic organizers and the visuals have been, especially for note taking, and just being able to kind of refer back to something has been helpful as well. I talked about that. So just kind of focusing on targeting on our targeted supports, right? Collaborating, selective accommodations, just kind of going back and really just imprinting these accommodations in our classrooms, right? With the sentence frames, uh, focusing on visual aids and anchor charts for vocabulary and key concepts, modified text supports with bilingual resources or simplified directions, peer collaboration and think, pair, share for oral language and development, and scaffolded questions to promote deeper thinking without language barriers. So just some of those examples inside the classroom that have been talked about and used and continue to use, right? Do we kind of agree with these ones that we'll keep implementing? Or is there any ones that we want to add?
No, I definitely agree, especially the visual aids. Usually what I make the students do is like when we pre-teach the vocabulary is make them draw a visual of the word behind it. So that way they kind of have like an idea of like not only text wise what it means, but like visually what it means or something to refer to. So I definitely like the visual aids.
Absolutely. All right.
During the peer collaboration and the think, pair, share, I'll have them, when I say something, when I'm teaching them a lesson, I have them talk amongst each other. What did you understand? And then they talk back and try to understand what I was trying to say or what they understood from it. If there's any misconceptions, that's something that I can pivot real quick and just reteach.
Oh, perfect. Sounds great. So just kind of staying on track toward equity goals, right? Today's meeting, and then with the data review, as we kind of move forward with reflection, and then just some of our collaborative outcomes, sharing the interpretation of data, right? We've done that. Build a consensus on our instructional adjustments, what we're going to do moving forward and continue to do with those accommodations, and then just continue to focus on equitable learning. So going on to the next meeting, we'll just kind of think about how has our collaborative process helped us create more equitable access for English learners. So all right, here we go. So good morning, guys. Thanks again for meeting with us. We'll go ahead and continue on our talks with helping our EL students with the results and next steps. So this purpose of meeting is just culminating discussion to kind of bring it all together, talking about experience, summarize results, plan for next steps, if you're going to make any adjustments or continue it, and then just kind of sharing our experience with equitable leadership through decision making. So what's going well for us? We talked about increasing EL participation using sentence frames and visuals, improve formative assessments scores across the grade level, and then greater engagement during small group collaboration. Would we all agree, or what do you guys think? Has this kind of been your experience with in your guys' classrooms, or has things kind of changed? Kind of coming back from our second meeting, could you guys kind of talk about that?
No, yeah, everything's going well. Not much adjusted needed, but we're doing a lot better than we were when we started off.
Awesome. So kind of some of the adjustments going forward. So as far as EL students still requiring additional vocabulary scaffolds, teachers noted inconsistencies in how peer collaboration was facilitated and need for continued professional learning on differentiated questioning. So as we kind of move forward as a PLC, and kind of improving our development as educators. We've kind of noticed some inconsistencies. I'm sorry, for professional learning is something that we can kind of continue to do and improve on. And I know some of you guys noted about inconsistencies in how peer collaboration was facilitated in our structured discussions.